Wait, here we go. Here might be a fun one. It's got a Bocchi thumbnail. The lonely versus the loner. Wasn't the Mallet guy in the Discord a while back? He was. And then I talked shit about him, and then he wasn't anymore. Anyway, the lonely versus the loner. Didn't I react to this?
Okie dokie.
No.
Introvert.
No, I did not react to this. I did bring it up as a thing that I wanted to watch. But I have definitely not watched it. Manga Bocchi has melons. I have seen the art. I am well aware of the art of Bocchi with giant tits.
Okie dokie. Introvert. A person that is incapable of being social, either due to lack of confidence or experience.
Sure.
That is the definition of an introvert.
There's a lot of people that like to call themselves an introvert. It's like a cool thing on the internet to call yourself an introvert. A lot of people are just lazy and don't want to go talk to people. Like, most people that call themselves introverts aren't truly introverts. They just are lazy. Now, some of them are, don't get me wrong. But most of them are not.
If I was a dirty, filthy liar... Bocchi the Rock is about a guitarist called Hitori Goto, or Bocchi as she's affectionately referred to. It comes from the Japanese word Hitori Bocchi, which can be roughly translated to
Hitori Bocchi.
Alone. Bocchi is alone.
Bocchi is alone.
Why, you may ask? Well, that's because she's an introvert. But if you've seen the anime, you'll probably realize that the first definition, the fake one, oddly fits Bocchi pretty well. A large majority of the show is Bocchi struggling with social situations. So, does that mean...
I'm so excited for Season 2. I'm so excited for Season 2.
I lied about being a liar? Well, no. The truth is that while Bocchi is an introvert, calling her an introvert is not the whole truth. What do I mean by that? Well... Also, please subscribe, trying to hit 5k before the end of the year. Thank you, back to the video.
What is he at? What is he at right now? 10k, I think he hit it. Yeah, I think he might have hit it.
I feel like there's a lot of misunderstandings around introverts, where many people actually do believe in the first definition.
An introverted person is in.
Do you know what I love about Trash Taste? There's only one person on the show that watches anime. It's great. What a great anime podcast it is.
Capable of being social. No.
And it's mainly because people mix up introversion with something else. So to make sure we're all on the same page, the Merriam-Webster definition is a typically reserved or quiet person who tends to be introspective and enjoys spending time alone. This is something we can expand on later, but if we look at this base definition, nowhere does it say that introverts are incapable of being social. So, if Bocchi is not just an introvert, what is she? Well, that's a simple question to answer. Bocchi has social anxiety. Now, notice that I said that she has social anxiety, not that she is socially anxious. That's because I want to make the distinction. An introvert is a personality trait. Social anxiety is a mental condition. Social anxiety is something people go to therapists to overcome. If you told a therapist that you want
or if you're an anime girl, you just get thrown into the situations and then you stop being, then you stop having the issue.
Overcome your introversion, they would laugh at your face. And then you would leave, because that's a terrible therapist. You would go see another therapist and probably talk about what you actually want to overcome. So if Bocchi is both an introvert and has social anxiety, what does an introvert without social anxiety look like?
Me. I'm just lazy and stay home. I just stay home and play video games. Like, if someone invites me out somewhere, I'm happy to do it, but like I'm just not gonna go out of my way to do it.
Well, you may not have guessed, but the show actually has the perfect example of this. Someone who's closer than you think. someone who's even in the same band.
Wow.
Unless you've already seen my thumbnail, which, whoop-de-doo, way to ruin all the intrigue I was building. Yes, Ryo Yamada is an introvert without social anxiety. Now, before we jump to Ryo, I want to better define what Bocchi is. Instead of repeating who does or doesn't have social anxiety, I'm just gonna make up my own terminology because titles are fun.
Yay!
Bocchi is what I would call lonely. Lonelies are people that can't socialize with others, but also have the desire to socialize. The whole reason Bocchi picked up the guitar is because she felt that she didn't belong, and latched onto the idea that rock music could solve that. So, lonelies are people
I forgot
that want to
that when she was young, she had short hair. I completely forgot about that.
improve their ability to socialize, but that doesn't mean they want to socialize 24/7. The Kit aura is a gag in the anime where Kita's extroversion blinds everyone that sees it. But I think it's actually a great example of how lonelies interact with others. Bocchi obviously enjoys Kita's company. They're in the same band, and as the show progresses, they spend more and more time together, even outside of practice.
Aww.
Kita is like the sun to Bocchi. It's healthy and beneficial for Bocchi to be exposed to her. Also, Kita gives Bocchi that vitamin D. However, if you stare into the sun for too long, you will eventually go blind. Bocchi enjoys spending time with Kita, but there is a limit to how much time and energy Bocchi can spend with anyone until she eventually gets tired. That's the thing about Bocchi the Rock. This is a gag comedy that shows an extreme example of what it is to be an introvert or socially anxious.
I think the best thing about Bocchi is just how creative they were with these like random fucking scenes in between. Like clearly they just had fun with it. They just did whatever they could think of.
That's why when I see people complain that Bocchi is unrealistic, that no one is as introverted as Bocchi, I have two problems with that
Yeah, it's an anime.
argument. One, exaggerations are usually based on something realistic, just cranked up to 100. It is hyperbolic on purpose to cast a wide net, so that a wide variety of introverts can find something to relate to. Two, honestly, there are people that are way more introverted or socially anxious than Bocchi.
Yeah, so much they
Japanese even
die.
have an entire term for them, hikikomori, people that avoid social contact.
Wait, where's the what's the there's this fight, this clip of this girl where she, yeah, is this it? Wait, it was a picture. Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. She sits in her room all day. Oh. She sits in her room all day playing video games. I would love to have a boyfriend, but my video games are more important.
Point that some won't even leave their house. Guess who leaves their house?
Based?
Bocchi actually isn't
Yes.
the only extreme introvert in this anime. She's just on one side of the introvert spectrum. Realistically, it shouldn't be a line, more like an entire tree of traits, but I'm lazy, so all you get is a line.
Lines are
Lonely
easy.
is on the far left of the spectrum. On the far right, I'm sorry, this sounds kind of political. I swear it isn't. The far right
Man,
is the
you are so fucking brain rotted if you say far right and you immediately think politics.
opposite of what lonelies are. People that are able to socialize with others, but oftentimes choose not to. Or the loner. Ryo Yamada is like the self-insert of introverts, because oh my god, I wish I had half the confidence she has. It's actually hilarious how often Ryo just refuses to read the room for her own amusement.
しょうがないよ、即席バンドなんだし。私だってそんな上手くないし。私は上手い。
While Bocchi
I forgot that was her voice. I completely forgot about that. Man, man, we need season 2. We need season 2 fight. Give me season 2, damn it.
She wishes she could socialize better. We've gotten multiple examples of Ryul socializing normally. We see her instantly gravitate to Kikuri and have a normal conversation about how much she likes to be stepped on, and during the festival arc, Ryul is perfectly fine interacting with strangers, like taking over a bike gang or extorting money out of students. She also shamelessly takes advantage of Bocchi and Kita multiple times, either asking for money or straight up lying to them. Honestly, she almost treats Bocchi like a pet at times. Did you know my name is actually Hitori God? So I think it goes to show that Ryul is actually great at socializing.
We love Ryul.
Just prefers not to. Just because you're an introvert doesn't mean that you have zero social skills. It just means you enjoy your own company. Ryul often goes out by herself, exploring secondhand clothing stores and going to concerts. When people ask her to hang out, she will perpetually lie her way out of it by throwing one of her various family members into the hospital.
りょう先輩も来ればよかったのに。誘ったんだけどね。おばあちゃんが今夜が峠なんだって。大丈夫なんですか?
Ryul is honestly my favorite character from the whole show, mostly because on the lonely to loner spectrum, I would put myself closer to Ryul. I'm like decent at socializing, but often choose not to because I'm a bit of a recluse. I enjoy going to the cinema by myself, and if I want to hang out with someone, I'll just ask. I also feel some level of anxiety and paranoia, so I do relate to Bocchi as well, but I'm
Paranoia is fun, you gotta embrace it.
Usually hide it pretty well. At least, I hope I do. That said, while I have been pointing out how Bocchi and Ryul are two introverts on the opposite side of the spectrum, that doesn't mean they're nothing alike. Obviously, both of them are quiet and keep to themselves, even if one does it out of fear and the other is just built different. But there's also these two other moments that I think really showcase their similarities. At the end of episode 1, after Bocchi, Ryul, and Nijika perform together for the first time, Nijika wants to have an after party to welcome Bocchi to Kesoku Band. However, Bocchi backs out, stating that she's exhausted from all the social interaction and runs away, while Ryul also ducks out by just falling asleep. Both of them have depleted their social batteries for the day and ditched poor Nijika. During episode 8, when a typhoon sweeps over Japan and prevents people from visiting Kesoku Band's concert, Ryul falls asleep again because she doesn't feel pressured now that not many people will be coming. When the fans Bocchi met in the previous episode managed to make it to the concert, goated characters by the way.
Yeah, they're
Bocchi
great characters,
gets so
I agree.
encouraged that she goes Super Saiyan. Both characters seem emotionless at first, but are actually easily affected by the mood. Actually, talk about episode 8, I've seen some people say that they find it unrealistic that Bocchi is able to pop off during a solo when she's been apparently pissing and crying in her pants off stage. Which I also have a
Imagine this thing called character growth.
This argument, because it disregards both the character development of Bocchi making friends and becoming more confident in herself. We see an example of this with Bocchi being able to serve a customer for the first time because of Nijika and Ryul's support. I guess making friends is in fact plot progression.
Imagine
the
that.
fact that some performers are able to just lock in, enter that flow state, focus on just their performance when the time requires it.
Like, the whole thing with that bit is she's not looking at the crowd. She's just staring at her guitar. She's treating it like she's performing by herself.
How she stares only at her guitar and never looks up at the audience.
Yeah.
She isn't suddenly not socially anxious, she's just actively trying to push through her fear. I think Bo Burnham perfectly captures what I mean by this.
Yo, why are you acting all quiet and weird right now? I once heard that you actually act quiet because you're shy and introverted in real life and that people shouldn't expect you to act the same way off stage as you do on stage. Yeah, that makes no sense.
And I think that's why I like Ryul so much. Because when you look past the nonchalance and mild sadism, Ryul is able to empathize with Bocchi because they are both introverts. When Bocchi was struggling with the idea of writing lyrics, trying to force positivity into them because she thinks that's what Kesoku Band wants from her, Ryul tells us about her old band. The songs they wrote had some awkward lyrics, but Ryul liked how honest they were. However, in an effort to become more commercial, they ditched that awkward honesty to appeal to more people. Which brings me to my favorite quote from the entire show.
個性捨てたら死んでるのと一緒だよ。
This statement is not only encouraging Bocchi to write the lyrics she wants to write, but also reassuring Bocchi that it's okay to be who she is. It doesn't matter if she's an extrovert or an introvert, energetic or gloomy, a lonely or a loner. Bocchi the Rock is about a guitarist called Hitori Goto, or Bocchi as she's affectionately referred to. She doesn't want to be alone all the time, so we watch her journey as she tries to overcome her social anxiety.
She never stops being an introvert.
So good,
Nor does her
very
anxiety
true.
ever truly go away.
What we do see though is a girl finally discover
Man, this
a
fucking
place
anime
where
is so
she
good.
belongs. A place called Kesoku Band.
Do you want to know one fun thing about the jump? Let me show you something. Let me see where. Can I find it? I won't be able to find it now, will I? Ah, yeah, here it is. So, this is the manga version of it. And this was the anime version. Now, there's a very subtle difference that they made here. The very, very subtle difference that they've made. But that was a good video. That was a very good video.